Hello, welcome, and God save the Queen. Ah, yes. Now, British has always been associated with Daniel. It emphasizes the truth, goodness, the beauty, and the commitment. Now, first, how do we find Britain beautiful? Well, Daniel went to Britain as part of the choir tour during his sophomore year. The sights and the sounds of the city of London are fantastic. Utterly beautiful. The countryside of England, beautiful. In one sense, the country itself is beautiful, in fact. The language and the accent, of course, are also beautiful. Now, goodness. Now, British have always stood for goodness, and they have fought for it. World War II, they brought down the Nazi Empire, which also brings us to commitment. Commitment. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the ground. We will fight them in the cities. Now, these words, well, probably not those exact words. I think I screwed up the quote, but still. These words were spoken by Winston Churchill. And he was committed. Anything that Britain does, they are committed to. And lastly, truth. How do you find truth in Britain? Well, one can always find one's true self and one's true heritage in the case of this Daniel Froling chap. What how? Yes, he is. A good chunk of him is British. What how? Good solid lad. And that is the truth in his life. He is British. True. Yes. Okay. So that's about it. To wrap it up then, God save the Queen.
Well, yeehaw! Howdy there, partner. Now, I'm here to tell you about the Wild Wild West. Now, out here in the West, we got something along the lines that we call goodness. Life out here sure is good. Now, you and your trusty steed, Bronco, whatever, are out there on the plain. You're alone. Sometimes, it's good to be alone. And, across those long journeys, sometimes you can find that inner peace and happiness that you've always been looking for. Well, cowboy life's got that, and Daniel sure is emulating it. He loves taking them long bike rides across town, taking pictures and whatnot. Now with the cowboy, you can see the same exact thing with herding crowds of them little cowboys across the country. Alright, that's what the cowboy does.
Good evening from the Ford Center for the Performing Arts at the University of Mississippi in Oxford. I'm Jim Lara of the NewsHour on PBS, and I welcome you to the...
Being on the debate team allows you to take a different personality. It allows you to become the debater, the statesman, the man who stands up before the audience and says, what is truth? A debater's goal, or anybody pursuing any public policy, their entire goal is the search of truth and the quest for truth. This is what a debater does. This is what everybody from the level of the president all the way down to every humble mayor of every town of 17 people. This is their goal. This is the goal of the statesman. This is the goal of the debater, to find truth, whether it's in public policy in matters like national security, to find the true way to defend their country, or it's on a small level to be able to finance a sewer system, or do something like that on a very small level. Whatever it is, their search for truth goes beyond what most people would do.
Let us pause in life's pleasures and
You know, there's something that's just special about acting and singing and being in musicals. And I've been in a couple musicals. I've been in The Music Man and All Shook Up at Century, and I'm recently going to actually be doing Oklahoma with the Honors Choir. And so there's something about singing and acting where you can find beauty and goodness inherent. I mean, you only have to listen to some beautiful music to find beauty in the air. Now, actually, the Romantics considered music the highest form of art because it was the most sensual. It applied the least amount to reason and the most amount to a person's actual feelings. It is like pure feeling that you're singing. Pure anger, pure love, pure whatever. And that's why sometimes musicals are just so emotional. And oftentimes they sell pretty well on Broadway. These two things often come together, and you can find something good and true wherever you are. If you're acting, you can find the humanity in people besides yourself. And I think that's something that's good and is an emphasis really of goodness. All right, when you act and when you can really get into a character and you can really get into their mindsets and you can find what drives them and what motivates them and what is about them, you can understand, you can put yourself in another person's shoes, which is something that a lot of people have difficulty doing, which creates a lot of chaos in the world and all that bad stuff, you know? And I'd like to think that music and acting, Broadway and all that, has made the world a better place, a more beautiful and good place.